Bienvenidos, herzlich willkommen, and welcome. Today I want to present one of our, I'm going to say actually not one of our, actually our second guest, but one of the most interesting guests that we're going to be having throughout the rest of this month. You mentioned that we were telling you that we were going to be starting with our English interviews, and that we were also going to want to appreciate and take advantage of the fact that this is the World Women's Month. So about 3 or 4 days ago, we confirmed something that we had planned about a month and a half ago. And I am very, very lucky to have speaking with us today, someone that I'm going to introduce only as Cristina. And you're going to know why in a second, because Cristina will tell you a little bit about her, and as we always do, what she thinks we perhaps should know a little bit about her also. But Cristina is not only a good friend, she's also a colleague consul. She's the honorary consul for the Federal Republic of Germany in the state of Chihuahua. And being a colleague and representing Germany, it was imperative that we have at least 3 of our friends and female consuls talk to us a little bit about leadership and how they exercise that leadership in their roles. So without further ado, Cristina, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you kindly for taking the time to do it in English. You mentioned it's not your native language, and we understand that. So thank you extra for the fact that you're willing to participate in these interviews, and hopefully we can help a few young and not so young ladies along the way.
I have to thank you for the invitation. I was very surprised that you were doing this kind of interviews. It's very interesting because you are a man, and well, this is the month of the International Woman, or this week was the International Women's Day. So I didn't know that you are that you have such a big engagement on this topic. Thank you for inviting me again.
I actually have to smile because I will let everyone know that's listening and watching us that before we started, Cristina said, Fritz, but you know, English my English is not as good as my German and Spanish.
Well, this is
I gotta tell you something. Your English is better sometimes than my Spanish is at times. and I
will try my best.
No, your English is perfect. It's wonderful, and I say that honestly. And it's more than good enough to be able to carry on this interview. Like I say, because I think we can positively affect a number of ladies around the world. Cristina, the first thing that I would want to ask you and have everyone else that's listening in know, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you as a person, as a woman, as the school that you have, the work at the consulate. What is important for us to know about you, Cristina, the person?
The most important to know for every woman out there is to believe in you. You have to believe in you. It doesn't depend what the people tell about you, because you know, a lot of people are saying, oh no, it's not possible to reach, or it's impossible for you, and as a woman more. And you have to know, I'm the oldest from 11 children, so we didn't have enough money to get a good study. So then I decided when I was 18 years old to go to Germany as a au pair girl. And I fell in love in this country because the woman there, the woman role is very different than here. We have to work very hard in Mexico to get all the goals and all the topics done the woman did since years in Europe, you know, and since a few years I'm back to Chihuahua. I came back to work with young people who wants to get a better life, a better job, and a better social recognizing. To go to Germany. I have a language school, and I'm cooperating with the agency, with the government agency in Germany, to help people go there to work or to make their studies, to get jobs, especially in the medical topics, so as a nurse, doctors. And I was very surprised about the several women who want, as like me, who want to leave this country because they don't see so many chances for them to get a better life, a better payment, a better job, or to get a good life for them.
That is very sad. No, that is very sad, and it's very true. And actually, for those people from overseas or abroad, you must know that Cristina works and operates in one of the states in Mexico with a very high machismo, maybe we should call it, with a very high number of female abuse, so to speak. It's a difficult region, a difficult area where Cristina operates from.
Yes,
Cristina,
very hard.
very, very hard,
Very hard.
yes.
It's a society in Chihuahua. The people are, I think, one of the hardest conservative societies.
It's certainly a case to be spoken about. I guess the first question I would take off with our subject about leadership is, I understand your family was large. You worked hard to make ends meet, and you had the opportunity to go to Germany as an au pair. What today do you give, besides that advice of never giving up? What practical advice could you give? And I'll break it up into three different types of women. First of all, the girls or the young ladies that are about to finish school or university and that are about to go out into the workplace. But then the same advice for those that are already working, those that graduated maybe a year ago or 2 years ago that are now working. And finally, that same advice that you would give to those that have maybe been working 5 or 10 years. And those particularly, I'm interested to hear what you have to say, because they evidently have had some experience in dealing with the workplace, the unfair workplace. So please share with us the advice you might have for those three different age groups.
At first, you have to be very, very sure the goals you want to reach. And you have to believe very hard on your dreams. And everybody has to have dreams. I know a lot of people, especially in this country, they give their dreams up because they say, no, it's very hard. I cannot reach it. I won't reach it. But especially women, they are scared. If they are working, they are scared how big and how hard is is the energy you need to put in to go further, to get a better job, or to be accepted from of the people there, because in very high positions you have more men, especially here in Chihuahua. I just know one woman who is a manager of a whole plant, and this plant is from Germany. So the German people, they choose the woman because they they saw that she was very hardworking and she was always focusing her goals. And when, especially for me personally, when somebody says me, so you don't reach, you cannot reach it, you will not get it, you are a woman, or you don't have the position or the money or the status in the society to get it, this gives me more power. It gives me more power, and then I always think, so I will show you, and I will show this to me that I can do it, that I can reach it. Of course, you have to learn about the people, how they act, how they think, and you have to be sometimes a little passive, so and observe what their behavior, so that you can learn of them, but that you can go further, or that you can go higher on your.
Yeah. Interesting. You can go further and higher than them because, as they say in Spanish, no hay que cuidarse de los que hablan tanto, sino de los calladitos, ¿no? So
very
very well. Yeah, it makes good sense. There is obviously a reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So certainly, as a woman, when you're observing, you learn a lot, and then you know how to operate. Okay. I guess that advice is general for women in every age group. What about particularly for the ladies that, like I say, are about to graduate, or that do not have a lot of experience dealing with the workplace? Because we know the workplace, especially in our country where we're based out of, is not a fair workplace. It's not the same salary scheme, not the same opportunities. Sadly, we're working towards it, but it's nowhere near what it should be. So what advice could you give to students who are student ladies that are about to graduate, or those who have just graduated, about going out into the workplace and being leaders?
At first, they should be very, very powerful, and they don't need to respect every time the rules of the society, because we did it always that way. We have to keep doing that. So they today we have a lot of information around the world and about every country. So I always say to my students, to my kids, to everybody, I know, you have to inform you, so that you know how the world is moving, or where the world is moving to, so that you can be in this movement, and not just being just a person who is looking what happened, what is not. And we have a lot of topics here in Mexico to change, to improve, and to do better. So we can kind of measure us with all other countries, especially from Europe, the US, or Canada. So we have to know what are they doing, and why are we doing that in that way, and not in another way, so that we can be more successful. So always being searching, always asking, always informing what's going on. So what can we do, and what can I do, especially, so to be better our society, or to have a better world, especially for women. You know, the problem in Mexico is, for women, is very hard. Just going on the streets alone is not so good as in other countries.
Yeah, I very much understand. What I've learned up to now from you is that they need to believe in themselves. They need to know that they're at a disadvantage, and know that they're going to have to try twice or 3 times as hard to reach the same things, but never to give up, very importantly. What about mentorship? How or who can people, women, look for mentores, for mentors? Um, who was your mentor? You have been able to make something out of your life, and you are an excellent honorary consul. I know people respect you very much in your community. Who was your mentor, Cristina?
Well, I cannot say it's special that I have a mentor person. So what I always try to do or to have is friends from a lot of countries, from different countries, and here in Mexico from different status, you know, so in different ages. I can very good have long conversations with very simple persons or with persons with high positions, and I always ask them, so how did you get here to this position, or what were your dreams, or you know, get the impression and the dreams, and yeah, their mentorship, so that I can learn from them. And especially I have here in Chihuahua a woman who is 84 years old. She's a lawyer. She was a long term politician, and in the politics. She was working hard there, and at least we met at university. We were teaching there for 10 years. We were so colleagues. And she's a very wise, very interesting person. And when I have to decide something, I call her, and then I have a conversation with her, and yeah, I will say he's my mentor. And for the power to get the power and to be inspired, to keep inspired, to reach everything. My mother is a very hard woman, and she says not a lot of words, but when she says something, then
Yes.
it's very good what she said. So maybe this both and what are women.
Very interesting. Throughout the interviews that we've done since last year, one thing I've learned is that every single good female leader learned a number of lessons from their mother that taught them that. And the other very interesting thing that I learned is that many of them actually had as a mentor their parent, their male parent, their father, in that their father at times was the one that told them, never give up, and you fight, and it's a dirty world out there, but you have my support. You can be everything you want to be.
That is true. My father believed on me when I was 10 years old and living in a ranch. I saw an commercial about German beer, and then I said them, I will be there sometimes. And everybody in the ranch, can you imagine? They were laughing about me, and they said, she's completely crazy now. And they called me that. They called me after that the crazy woman. And when I turned 10 years, so I was almost ready with the primary school, and my father asked me, "Do you want to go to secondary school and to high school?" And then I said, "Yes, I want." And he believed on me, so that he saved everything in the ranch, and then we came to the city. So in the same month, so that I could keep going to school. So now I have both as a mentor, so my father and my mother. So
I feel so wonderful listening to that story, because it's one that we can share with everyone listening, that The sad part is that if we do the wrong thing, we can limit the growth of individuals. And if we do the right thing, we can help individuals grow. And it sounds very normal, but sometimes we forget that. And I know that in the conferences that we give and the courses, we talk a lot about people in corporate life that use the bonsai complex. They want to keep their employees very small, like a bonsai tree, very small, beautiful, taken care of, but they don't want them to grow. And having like you parents that are there to help their kids grow and give them an opportunity is wonderful. You're very blessed to be able to have that. I would tell you I would ask you, sorry, one last question. As an honorary consul, as a female honorary consul, female honorary consul, how do you execute your leadership, your important role in the state as you operate, being that it's a state plagued with male politicians and male diplomats and male businessmen? How have you been able to be someone that is looked up to? Because I know for a fact, I will tell people that are listening and watching that you have a very, very, very good reputation in Chihuahua. And yeah, and maybe it's not for me to be telling you, but I have friends and enemies everywhere. But believe me, when I speak to Grace and when I speak to Monica, you three girls are incredibly gifted with a very good reputation in the areas you work with. And it's not by mistake that we called you up and asked you to participate. But I am very curious to know, what is the secret for you to be such a good leader, a female leader?
Well, this is a very hard question. I don't know how to answer that so that you can understand that, or the people who were listening to this understand that. I'm always trying to be just me, and when the people came and say, so you are the honorary consul of Germany, you are not German. And then I said, well, I was born in Mexico, but I have my German citizenship, and I was living for 20 years in Germany. And in my mentality, in my way of work, I'm very German. So I'm very punctual, I'm very hard working, and discipline is very important for me. And I try always to be respectful, but to expect that they respect me, and I'm trying always. I'm always trying to do my work very good and on time, and so as has to be, and so as I will desire to be everywhere in this country. And I think the people, they see that, they see how I handled with this work, and how I'm threatening them, or my behavior. I don't know exactly, but well, a lot of people here at school, especially my students, they say that I have a very, very hard personality and very respectful personality. I don't see that. I don't get that. I don't get this kind of very hard personality they say I have, or that I when they see me, I'm looking like a very strong person and respectful person, but no, it's just me. It's just me. It's the way I was all the time since I was a child. I was very different, and I always had and have my dreams. And you know, when I arrived in Germany, I was living for almost 2 years with very old people, 84 and 86 years old, and they were through two wars. So they were very strict and they were very hard, but they helped me to success in Germany and maybe to success here. So I don't know how to explain that to you.
Actually, I think you've explained it perfectly, and you've come to once again prove something that those that are leaders and good leaders understand. When asking about what is your secret, your answer doesn't talk about you. You start talking about those that you lead. You have humbleness. You are just yourself, and being yourself and doing hard work and taking care of those you lead evidently gives you that respect that I was talking to you about. So
And maybe
I have something with which I know that I can end this interview with, and I was thinking maybe what question do you want to ask her last or whatever, but right now this is spontaneous. We know each other a little bit as colleagues, and we see each other at the conferences, etc. But on a more personal level, we have not had the opportunity to talk so much in depth. And what I would like to tell you is that I not only admire you now as a woman, I admire you as a human being, as a person. You are someone that I'm very surprised talking to, how simple and down to earth you are and how honest. And it is a true pleasure that you have accepted to chat with us today and hopefully help some girls out there.
it was a honor for me, and sorry because my English is not good.
There you go again. Your English is more than good enough, Cristina. It's for these purposes perfect.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Your English is much better than my German with a beer.
Okay.
I thank you from the heart. You have put a very, very high bar for Grace and Monica. They will be nervous for their interviews, I know.
They are wonderful women too.
Yes, they are. And I thank you so much for your time. They say, as I always end, usually saying that time is not, it's a essence that leaves. Once time is gone, it doesn't come back. So this time that you and I have spent together is part of our life. Time is life. So you have actually given part of your life to this project and to me, and I'm very, very, very thankful that you have done that. I really appreciate it.
I have to thank you. It's being an honor to be invited.
Thank you to you, Cristina.